everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from Marsha Blackburn. She just came out and revealed the truth. And let's just say Marsha Blackburn is not holding back anymore. After Kamala Harris lost in such a huge landslide against Donald J. Trump, and Donald Trump defeated Lion Kamala Hyena Harris in all 7 swing states, Marsha Blackburn, she's fed up, and now she's exposing the truth. She says Americans have reached a tipping point with this outrageous spending. So without further ado, let's jump in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more breaking news. This is Marsha Blackburn.
Blackburn joins me now. So, Senator, how do you plan on getting these workers back to the office? And if they don't want to come back, why don't we just sell the buildings and give that money back to the taxpayer?
I wish it was that easy.
Well, Katie, you're right about that, and I think the American people have reached a tipping point with putting up with this outrageous spending. Every member has a list, but more importantly, the American people have a list, and they want to pay less for gas and groceries, and they know that this federal spending is causing a lot of what they're doing. Now, as you're saying, you've got about 10% of the federal workforce that is working full-time 5 days a week.
Didn't the senators also put in there that they wanted a raise so that their salaries could keep up with the inflation that they caused themselves? What a joke.
In an office, we have about 12% of our office space that is being used. So one of my DOGE Act's provisions is to make certain that people return to work. If they're not returning to work, then we need to remove them, or we need to sell those buildings. Or another of the DOGE provisions, let's move these federal agencies outside of Washington, D.C., and put them across the country where people like Tennesseans are going to work every single day in order to put up with this inflation that's been caused by the spending.
And also, they would have to deal with the policies that they are implementing from Washington, D.C. and the communities that they live. But to the point of getting rid of federal workers, there are some roadblocks to this. The Washington Post is reporting that about 56% of the civil service is covered by collective bargaining contracts, and many of which include provisions for telework, and that a record 10% of federal jobs are now designated as fully remote. So
it's an absolute joke, and they're paying for the AC and the lights to run in buildings where people aren't even there. What a joke.
Congress can't get civil service reform done first. Are all these efforts for DOGE going to go anywhere?
They should.
Of course, the efforts are going to go into action. And here's the thing, the American people are impatient for action. We have the President Trump administration is going to be aggressive. They're going to be focused, and they're going to be pushing Congress to take that action and get people back to work. Make certain that we clear backlogs. And I will add to that, another of the DOGE Act's provisions is across-the-board spending cuts, 1%, 2%, and 5% in our discretionary non-defense spending, to make certain that we are certainly reducing what the federal government spends. What we need to do is go in and cap the spending. We need to freeze federal hiring, federal salaries, another of the provisions. We need to make certain we are working the debt down, not adding to it. And that means people show up, people do their job. We do more with less. We utilize technology. We implement these DOGE provisions. People are tired of waiting for action, and they're going to be, I've talked to so many people that say, look, Marsha, you've got the House, the Senate, the White House with the greatest president, President Trump. We want to see things done.
Yes, we do. America voted for this. They didn't want Lion Kamala Hyena Harris. They did not want Senator Chuck Schumer to be Senate Majority Leader. They did not want Hakeem Jeffries to be the Speaker of the House. They want Republican wave. It was a huge red wave.
I'm delighted that they do.
If the federal government has money to spend on rats doing cocaine, they're taking too much money from the American people. Senator, we'll be watching the DOJ Act. Thank you so much.
I don't know. I feel like that was a pretty decent bill, or a pretty decent study. I'm just kidding. Senator Marsha Blackburn also ripped apart Biden's open border policy. Are the Biden administration lies to the American people about the border being secure going to be their downfall? Do you think they're lying? Take a listen to Marsha Blackburn here.
Members of the administration were saying around about the same time when Laken Riley's suspected killer had first entered illegally our nation.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. But there are still a lot of problems that we are trying to fix, given the deterioration that happened over the last 4 years.
Secretary Mayorkas, do you continue to maintain that the border is secure?
Yes, and we are working day in and day out to enhance its security.
Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, member of the Judiciary, Finance, and Veterans Affairs Committees. Senator, thank you for being with me today. I want to get your just initial thoughts. The vice president, yes, it's secure. The man who's now looking to be impeached by the House, Mayorkas, said, yes, it's secure.
And we know all of it was a lie, because in the first 100 days of his administration, Joe Biden took 94 executive actions and orders that weakened immigration policy, weakened immigration law, and further opened the border. An open border is the Biden border policy, full stop. That has been their policy. Joe Biden has resisted actually going to the border, so has Kamala Harris.
It's such a joke. Our own president, vice president, we have such a crisis at the border. Why aren't they down there? Why don't they go spend a week down there? See firsthand, instead of going there for a little freaking photo op. Do you really think that's gonna do jack diddly squat? I don't think so.
And when she went down there, she went to the wrong address. And now we find out that here comes this illegal immigrant in 2022. He's apprehended in September 23, a year later, on the child and endangerment charges. And Harris, New York is a sanctuary city. New York State, a sanctuary state.
Yeah.
So they let him go before a detainer gets to ICE. And what does he do? He ends up in Georgia and he kills a brilliant young woman.
Crazy.
Who is a good student, and her family is grieving, and the nation is grieving with that family over this loss of life.
So I want to get to this because you said Vice President Kamala Harris went to the wrong address. Well, so did President Biden, because
Yes,
they had
exactly.
so cleaned up El Paso when he got there.
Right.
I mean, I don't know where they put all of the illegal immigrants,
Right.
but could they put them wherever they put them then? Because he didn't get to see anything that was the reality of what our patrol agents were dealing with.
That's right. And as you've heard me say time and again, every town's a border town, every state's a border state. Instead of flying these illegal immigrants to places in the country, why don't we fly them back home?
Why don't we?
Yes!
And send them back. And this is why you mentioned the House H.R. 2.
Yes.
That bill landed in the U.S. Senate on May 15th of 2023. Now, it was to go to Judiciary Committee. Harris, we have had over 80 meetings and hearings of the Senate Judiciary Committee since that bill landed in the Senate. We have talked about, let's bring up immigration, let's talk about this border. Why didn't they take up H.R. 2? And if they didn't like the bill, then amend it, put in provisions that would actually secure the border. But this administration has wanted an open border. That has been their policy.
Wow. So Marsha Blackburn just went scorched earth and exposed the truth. I commend this woman. I believe she played a major role in helping Trump defeat Kamala Harris by actually getting the truth out there. Remember, this is a Republican senator who's not afraid to speak her mind. She's a woman. you know? Like Mark Cuban said, oh, Donald Trump, all the women who support Trump, they're unintelligent, they're dumb, whatever he called her, whatever he called them. No, Marsha Blackburn is a smart woman. So let me know your thoughts down below. Take care, God bless, and Merry, Merry Christmas.